Hey guys, I wanted to share with you my initial impressions of the Nexus 5, and we'll start off with the look and feel. Now, when I first took this out of the box, the first thing that I noticed was just how light it felt in my hand. In terms of the stats, it comes in at 130 grams compared to the Nexus 4's 139, so it's definitely shaved some weight off, and you can really tell in the hand it does make quite a big difference. It's also thinner than the Nexus 4, and again, that does make a difference. It's obviously taller, having a bigger screen, and a little bit wider as well, but honestly, I think this feels better than the Nexus 4 when holding it. It's a little bit sharper around the edges, whereas the Nexus 4 is a little bit more rounded, and I don't know how to quite describe it, but it just fits the hand a little bit better. In terms of the materials used, again, I really like them. This kind of has the back has a kind of soft touch plastic, and yeah, I know a lot of you guys wanted glass, but one, this is not going to smash as easily. Secondly, it's really nice to feel in your hand, and thirdly, it's not going to pick up fingerprints anywhere near as easily as glass. You can see I'm rubbing my fingers all over this, and you know, it hardly picks up the fingerprints at all, so I actually really like the back. The buttons again are made of a ceramic material, and yeah, these are pretty awesome. Now, they don't rattle or shake or anything like that. They don't feel like they're going to break. They have a nice little kind of feedback when you press them. And one thing I will say is they are a little bit sharp, so if you kind of run your finger down the device, you can feel the button quite significantly. It's a little bit sharp. And another thing I'm not sure I really like is the fact that the camera kind of sticks out here. You can see that. So when you're leaning it on a table, basically you're leaning it on your camera, so I'm not really a massive fan of that, but yeah, I'm really happy with the build quality. It doesn't rattle or anything like that. Really excellent. So moving on to the screen, and again, I am really impressed with this. It's basically a 5-inch screen. I think it comes in at 4.95 inches, full 1080p, and it really is pinpoint sharp. Now, one of the biggest things for me is the touch response. It hands down beats the Nexus 4 easily. You can see here, and this is one of the biggest things for me about the screen. I'm touching this as lightly as I can. You can see we're still getting a touch response. If you try this on your Nexus 4, you just won't. It doesn't have the same touch response. This is as light as I can touch it, and it's a big deal because you can open apps just as quickly as just a simple tap. You don't have to press really hard, and you know, it's going to make stuff like typing easier. Swipe typing as well is going to be easier, so that's a big deal. The screen response is excellent. Like I said, color reproduction and sharpness is excellent as well. Performance wise, yeah, this thing flies. Now obviously it's a Nexus device, so it's running stock Android, which is fast anyway, but this has a Snapdragon 800 which is clocked at 2.3 gigahertz per core. It is a quad core, and it just is blazingly fast. You can see if I go to this notification right here, just how quickly it can access your notifications and start reading your content. It's very, very fast. When apps are in your memory, there really isn't a question of loading. It's just how fast you can realize it's there. I mean, just look how quick that is. There's no loading there. It's just the transition and boom. And when it's out of memory, it's not exactly slow. You can see if I close out Twitter here, it takes a little bit longer, but really it's very, very fast to load up your app. Scrolling performance so far, I've noticed it being very, very smooth. Obviously that depends on app optimization and stuff like that, but so far scrolling has been excellent, especially with the touch response over here. I haven't tried any games out yet, but it does have the Adreno 330 GPU. I'm expecting very smooth frame rates. I'm pretty sure it's going to have it. Performance, you're not going to have any problems with this. It really is excellent. So let's move on to some of the changes in Android KitKat. You can see a transparent nav bar here, transparent status bar. No more holo blue icons. You can see you got the white ones. It looks very polished, it works very well. You can see the icons are kind of big as well. I'm not sure if I was going to like that, but after using it for a while, I kind of like the big icons. They're high resolution, everything's super sharp. Like I said on this display, the icons have kind of got a nice little refresh. Everything's slightly more rounded. It's hard to tell over a camera, but you can definitely notice it in real life. And I like the bigger icons, you know, you can't miss them. It works out on a bigger screen, so I like that. If you swipe in from the left to right, you've got your Google Now. You can see that's kind of always activated, a really easy way to get to it. Even if you kind of scroll up from here, you can see it just kind of changes the page to this one. If we scroll to the bottom, you've got all your cards. Obviously, you've got a settings thing. I'm not sure if this was always on Google Now, if I just didn't notice it until now. But it gives you a few more options. You can change your sport teams right here. You can change your places. If you go into everything else, it basically asks you some questions and changes the way Google Now works depending on how you answer these questions. So that's pretty awesome. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the kind of always listening mode for this. So let's just go ahead and try this. Okay, Google, what was the Chargers score last night?
The Chargers lost to the Redskins 30-24.
Great, we lost. But you could just see how well that worked here. You just say, okay, Google, and there you go. You can see it activates. And this only works from your kind of home screens. You can do it on any home screen you want. It won't work when the device is, you know, like this, when it's kind of locked and the screen is off. You can see that. Okay, Google, you got nothing. It doesn't work. You have to have your screen on and unlocked for it to work. But it's pretty awesome. It works. You don't have to touch the screen, and it's a really easy way just to talk to your phone if that's something you want to do. So the next thing that's really impressed me is the dialer. If we just open this up here, I really love the fact that you can just search places and it'll find the number for you. So let's say, I don't know, I want a pizza. You can just search in Domino's Pizza, I know that's near me. And boom, there it is. There's the number, as if it was in my address book, but it's not. I can promise you it's not stored there. You can see nearby places. You can just tap this and boom, you're ringing. You don't have to go around searching for the number on the web. It's just going to do it all for you. You can see it works for loads of different places. You can see where the Apple store is. You don't want to call Apple. And boom, there's the store that's nearest to me. I can just call that straight away. There's no more having to search for the number. And I've got to say, I really, really enjoy that. If we check out the dialer here, you can see it's got a nice little transition. It doesn't take up the whole screen anymore. I'm not a massive fan of this blue bar. I think it kind of looks out of place. Maybe I'll change that with a custom ROM. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe it'll grow on me. I don't know. So to actually set a widget here, you can hold the screen and you can see you get these different pages. You can check out your different pages. You can go to wallpaper, widgets, and settings. Widgets is just the same as it always was. So you can see the different widgets here. You can go through them and add them. It actually comes with a lot of new different wallpapers and some really nice ones. So this is the one I'm using right now. And you can see there is a lot of different wallpapers, really colorful ones as well to take advantage of this really beautiful screen. And like I said, it really is a beautiful screen. Colors look absolutely excellent. Pinpoint sharpness, everything is awesome. But you can see the different wallpapers there. We'll keep this one for now. So I just want to mention something quickly about the camera. Obviously, I haven't tested it that much, but initial impressions are that it's very good. You can see if I open it up here, I took a picture of my cat and it really did take a nice picture. Everything is very sharp. The clarity, you can zoom all the way in here. And you can actually get quite good detail on his fur. You can actually see the kind of white hairs. He's a bit of an old man now, but the detail is very sharp. The colors are excellent. You know, he's a black cat. It looks black, but it's very sharp. The colors, like I said, are really nice to see. I think we finally have a good camera on a Nexus device, so I'm really excited about testing this out and using it a little bit more. So there you go, guys. That's my initial impressions of the Nexus 5 and Android 4.4 KitKat. I've been really impressed with this so far. Loads more videos will be coming, such as, you know, camera tests, gaming performance, browser performance, and all that sort of stuff. And of course, versus Galaxy S4, versus the Nexus 4, versus the iPhone 5S, all that stuff is coming. So stay tuned. Peace out.